Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money, baby. Today, we are talking about the messy. Ooh, we're going to get messy today, y'all. The messy dynamics of love, money, and toxic relationships. The ongoing situation between Safaree and Mena has us questioning a lot. We've seen some very disturbing videos. I don't know if y'all been on social media, on Shade Room, on Neighborhood Talk, but it's all over the place, including the one where Erica hits Safaree in front of their children, and then another one showing this crazy ass lady stalking his home and hopping over the fence with a ladder. Now, you know it's nasty work when you got to bring a ladder and hop over a goddamn fence. It's crazy. This leads to us to wonder if the roles were reversed, would Safaree be in jail? Are men always seen as the problem in these situations? With Safaree's child support disputes and Mena's public accusations, we are going to discuss what we can learn always, because this is about what we can learn from these experiences and how to protect ourselves, both men and women, in relationships that can harm us both emotionally and financially. But first, I want to introduce you to the queens and the king. We got Miss We Wealth Warrior, all things pop culture. Hey, Athena. We got the doctor, therapist, educator, Mr. Joe Corley. And then rounding up the rear last but certainly not least, we got the PhD herself, Dr. Lene Javette. And guess what she do? She is a business and monetization strategist. She didn't even write that down. I already knew what she do because I follow her. So y'all, this is some drama, and it's I don't know. Let's look at the video and then let's discuss it because this is some craziness going on.
I don't even know where to start. But I'm putting everything out there because the fact that people, even whether you know me or not, there still has to be like a certain level of common sense when it comes to just being a judge of character. I love my kids. And it's gotten to the point that I have to put myself first because I'm either going to end up in jail or worse because I'm dealing with someone whose anger management is just non-existent.
Y'all, PM did in the comments said, hot mess express, baby. Dr. Lene, what you think?
I think hot mess express as well. I have multiple feelings about it. One, I think it's crazy. First, let's start with the facts. A woman should not act like that in front of her kids. Let's just start with that one. Relationship aside, everything else aside, you are showing your plum ass in front of your children, putting your hands on their father. That's the first thing. That's the first part. Second, you're breaking the law. We haven't even got to the second piece yet, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. I just think it's crazy. And the other thing is she always acts like a victim in the public. And then behind the scenes, we get to see how she really acted. And that's literally what he's saying. Like, this chick crucifies me in the press, but this is how she's acting and behaving behind the scenes. And so I hate that we have to see this information because it's none of our business. But I guess this is how the world we live in today.
It's like, take us out the group chat. Take us out the group chat. Joe, what you think when you seen this?
I didn't see this. Y'all showed me this. So I'm nowhere near where this would be at. Actually, I'm not
That
gonna.
part, Joe. That's a key part too. That's important to say, Joe.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. My brother did send this to me like last night. Said, "Oh, you should talk about this on that show." And then little, and there we came. Here it is, right now today. I'm talking about this on the show. But there are some aspects of this that I do think we should touch on when we talk about how relationships get to this level, for this level of toxicity. And I've been asked this question before, like what to do when we get to this level. So I mean, there's some things we can touch on that are important here. But no, these people, they take me out the group chat as well.
What about you, Miss Pop Queen?
Listen, so when I first saw this, it didn't surprise me whatsoever because, a little confession, I love a little ratch every now and then. I do watch reality TV, so I did see their relationship play out on Love and Hip Hop. But anyone who knows Erica knows that she has had a track record of being that angry, spicy Latina that you brothers say y'all like, that y'all like the fire, like y'all like the heat. But when it get too hot and it done scorch you behind now, you have to deal with the consequences. So I'm not surprised about what we saw. And I think it speaks to the toxic femininity that we can see oftentimes play out.
You think you think that don't she be fighting and stuff? Because I don't be watching her. She be fighting.
Yes, like if you watch Love and Hip Hop, not even just the men, the women too, everybody. She has gotten fights with women on the show. She had a fight with
fights. Like she came like fists.
Yeah, like to fight them. And even she was dating Rich at the time on the show, so she had arguments and fights with them. Spice, she had it didn't turn physical, it almost did, but remember she was being flogged because she's called Spice a blue monkey, and Spice the dark skinned Black Jamaican queen of dance hall woman. So she has always on the show played almost like a villain character, or a character where she's having all these fights and disagreements, whether it's physically or verbally. So Safaree should not be so surprised by her behavior because she has a reputation of being this way. But for some reason, when it's a spicy Latina, they get a pass. But let this be a Black woman. Oh, you toxic, you masculine. All y'all do is argue, whatever. Let me
ask you that, Dr. Lene. Do you think Black men, and we're going to paint everybody with a broad brush, do you think they give these spicy Latinos a pass when it comes to stuff like that? Do you think Black women will be able to get away with something like that?
Ooh, get ready for the splashback. I think Black men give everybody else a pass, but Black women.
Ooh, say that one more time. I want you to say it for the people in the back.
I said I think Black men give everybody else a pass except for Black women. And I say that, and I only date Black men, and I only date Black men. So I love brothers, I support brothers, I stand up for brothers. But we see it too often. And it's not just brothers. It's not just the Black men that are dating other women that they give them a pass, but it's the whole concept and ideology of the Black woman being stronger, how we show up. We always get the shorter end of the stick, right? So when you see a situation like this, kind of to what Athena was saying, this has probably been going on for a long time. He hasn't pulled her card until just now, but he's probably been going through this and dealing with this for a while. Had it been a Black woman or a sister, whatever the case might be, he might have pulled this card a little bit sooner, quicker, faster. He would have thrown her under the bus probably a little bit sooner, quicker, faster, because the media portrays us a different way. So it's easier and quicker to get to say, see, look at how she acting. She's doing that Black woman stuff, because we have a stereotype for being that way. So when somebody deals with us or approaches us, they already have that stigma of how a Black woman is. Which is why I think you give more leniency to other people, because you automatically assume that this is how a Black woman will act or behave.
I can definitely agree with that, and I do, because we have this angry Black woman stigma that has been placed upon us by society, social media, the media in general, and so we don't get the same chances and the same passes as everybody else. We'll be called a Black bitch in a heartbeat, and that's just how it is. What do you think, Dr. Joe?
I think this stuff only plays out like in the media. Like when you think about the stigma that black women get, angry black women, the stigma that black men get, angry black men, and then you look online and then like they pit it against each other all the time, right? But in reality, when we get together, it's a celebration all the time. It's I mean, for me, in the circles that I travel in, I don't know about y'all. Y'all travel in different circles than I do. But I'm never sitting around like, I hear what Dr. Lene said, and I'm just I let her perspective play out, because how can I argue with her about her lived experience and her own perspective? But when I heard it, that just hearing that breaks my heart, because I can't see that. I can't envision that that's what we're doing. Like, we would give everybody else a pass with black women. But I mean,
Can I respond to that too, Dr. Joe? Because I see Dr. Vibe show. All black men, really? No, not all black men. Let me make sure I say not every single black man. No, because not every single black man dates out of the race. So it can't be every black man. You have your black men that love, respects, and honors black women. So of course, I'm not talking about those black men. We're talking about the ones that do go outside and date the others. So we're talking, if a black man doesn't date the others, he wouldn't qualify for that statement, obviously. So I'm specifically talking to those that go outside, because if you even think about it, the ones that go outside, usually they already have a problem with black women. They already say, I don't deal with black women because. So they already have, they themselves who are dating outside, who have the issue with black women, which is why they turn to others. They have the stigma, which is why they give these others so much longitude, so much space to act a fool, because they feel like that is better than dealing with a black woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not all black men, just those ones.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of which, when you talked about, you don't know what people we do in our circles, but the people that you hang out with, Joe, you don't see that. Have you seen a situation like that where something like that, like violence is played out in front of you, like with a couple?
I grew up in that. I watched a man beat my mother like that right in front of my face for many years. So yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it in my family. All I have is sisters, and as a counselor, I've seen it. I haven't seen it in my face, but we've had discussions about it in process. Domestic violence situations. So yeah, I've seen it a ton of times, and growing up in it, I gain a perspective of everybody that does this is disgusting. But as I lean more into my therapy bag in this space, I gain some empathy for the situation, and I try to understand, like, where does this come from? Both people, like, what happened to Erica to get her to this level? It's usually kind of a sign of being unheard or misunderstood. Not excusing it. So before anybody jump on me in these comments, understand I'm not excusing no behavior like this. I literally just told you I watched a man beat my mother in my face for several years. So I have no excuse for it, but I do want to gain understanding. I do want to know where the hurt comes from, that makes you feel like this is the avenue that you have to get to in order to be seen or heard inside of your relationship.
Well, I'm glad that you ran from it, because, in these situations, either you run to it or you run from it when you've grown up in it. So that's great that you not only run from it, but you're doing something to effectuate change for the people that are around you. And I love that a woman of a certain age has pulled out her fan, baby. Let's go. All right. So we will be right back and continue on this conversation.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
Hey. So Black Lexicon said, I dated a toxicati once an extra long time ago, bless her heart. And then Armando said, I never watched the show for the fact that they don't show the best representation of our people. If they wasn't acting out, they wouldn't be on the show. Drama brings in the ratings. It's all for the show, which is very true. And that's the reason why I stopped watching reality TV, that kind of reality TV a long time ago. It was stressing me the hell out. I was like, if this is making my heart palpitate, my blood pressure rise, I don't want to do it. So, but with reality TV, they say it's not scripted, but it is sort of scripted because they prompt you. The producers make you do certain things, or they prompt you to do certain things. So they kind of exacerbate whatever it is that's in them. I'm gonna ask you, Athena, Queen of Pop Culture. Do you think it's sort of like life imitating art or art imitating life? Do you think that her being on social media kind of made her more, spicy in real life, or do you think this is just who she is?
I think it's similar to like when people get a whole bunch of money. I think it just magnifies who you are. And if a part of your income is tied to a persona, that you're this spicy Latina, you're angry, you say how it is, you treat people however, then I'm sure it plays into that somehow, right? But I want to also say with respect to Dr. Lene said something earlier, the videos that Safaree released, according to Erica on her Instagram page, those were videos from 2023. So that was footage that he has had for a long time. Why did he not expose her then, right? And according to Erica, as recent as of May this year, he was still trying to get back with her, right? So she was trying to say that he's kind of using this to try to disparage her now for whatever the reason is. But this has been, even before that, even on the show, there were signs of a lot of issues. Now, Erica, Safaree did not necessarily treat her the best when they had issues. And I think personally, this is a hypothesis, right? So this is not anything confirmed. I think what happened is Safaree is a very playful, sensitive man. And Erica is very, the word I want to say is viperous when she's angry. So I think when they were having conflict, he probably shut down, ignored her. And that was stuff that played out on the show, which only made her more crazy, like more viperous, like trying to get like a reaction for him to care. So I think their mix as a couple from that standpoint, because the ability to resolve conflict greatly impacts the longevity of your relationship. They were just not a good mix. I think it was two people that were like hot for each other and thought they could make something work, but it was like a lot of lust in the situation. But in reality, they should have never been together as a couple.
They should have never been together. And I think regardless if this was last year or if it was 5 years ago, it doesn't stop the fact that your ass was acting crazy and hitting this man in front of them kids. And then she said something like, I'm not even going to show you what he did. Trust me, if whatever she had, she would have showed it, because why would she hold it back now that she's been exposed?
She would have been played her part.
Save face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at this other video, because I want to show you just how crazy this spicy Latina is, or what toxicati is.
Me having to have two different lawyers. So this is two separate lawyers for one lawyer for that, then another lawyer. I went and I was going to get a restraining order because, she's doing stuff like showing up in my crib 5 o'clock in the morning, pulling out a ladder, hopping the fence.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Banging on my windows. My son's birthday party was like a month after that. No, like it was a while after that. And then when I went to the party, they said, hey, you want a restraining order, but you went to a party, she was there, so you must not be in that much fear. So I had to drop that case. And this is me having to have two.
Y'all, she had a ladder.
Erica must have a Home Depot membership, because I don't even know.
How did she get the ladder there? I need to know.
Dr. Lene, have you ever been that digmatized where you had a ladder in your goddamn trunk and you had to go jump over a Negro's fence to get. Have you ever can you ever be that damn dickmatized?
I don't think that that's it though. I think this. So this is my perspective.
All right, tell me what you
I
think.
think that she is jilted. She feels jilted. She feels betrayed. She feels embarrassed. And because there's, I'm not gonna say celebrities. Let's go with influencers. Everything that each person does is magnified across the press, the media. So whereas Jennifer and her man are literally going through the same thing, he treating her the same way that Safaree is. Jennifer don't got to see it on social media every day. Jennifer's not getting questioned by it every day. With Erica and oh boy, it's playing out in the media. So every day there's a camera in the face. Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did? So it's like being poked over and over and over again. You can't get past it. You can't move past it. So I definitely think she's embarrassed. She probably, like most women, thought that this was going to be a relationship. He out moving on, doing his thing quick and fast. And so she's so I think if the producer says she's having a meltdown, I think that's what I think.
I think she's very controlling. I think he's not doing what she wants him to do, and therefore she is losing her everlasting mind. I mean, Dr. Joe, is this a case of her being dickmatized, or is she just a jilted lover?
I agree with Dr. It's more than that. It's more than some dick. You know, it's a trigger. It's an emotional trigger. There's something that went on in her life probably prior to Safaree that is causing her to show up in a relationship or after the relationship like this. So now she's feeling unheard and unseen. I'm guessing. I don't know for certain. But usually when I'm dealing with clients who are trying to get over a situation and they're like, I just want to talk to him. I just want to make sure that he knows that I feel like this. And I want to make sure that he knows that I feel like that. And I usually say, okay. And then once you get that out, then what? Then what? What do you expect to happen? Do you expect to get back together? Do you expect him to like break down and cry? Do you expect him to immediately start feeling the pain that you feel? Because that's not going to happen. Whatever she wanted out of this situation, she was never going to get. Scaling the walls, you know, hitting them, all that stuff is never going to get her what she needs because she has not taken the time to deal with and understand whatever it is that she actually needs. What's the underlying cause of her triggers and her pain?
Yeah, I will mop the ocean floor before I sit around and have a damn ladder in the back of my trunk to scale a Negro's fence. And you know, it reminds me of, remember that astronaut that went to go kill her boyfriend's lover, and she had that diaper on and was eating like saltines or whatever all the way. Remember that astronaut? She had the diaper on. She was on a mission to get her boyfriend's or her husband's lover. People be crazy. Is it because they're jilted, Athena, or is it dickmatization? What do you think?
You know, there's scientific studies that say sperm make you stupid, actually. So and there's actually studies that do that. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Look up academic studies on the side effects of sperm, ladies. So I do think some dickmatization might be in there for real. But I think it's very unfair because, listen, Erica has been on social media on the show, disparaging Safaree, saying what he's not doing, how he's not coming to visit people, all kind of things. So I do think it's fair that he, you know, defends himself in that way. And I also want to say, you know, two wrongs don't make a right. So even if he ignored you or he doesn't want you or he not in the children's life, okay, that is something on his part. You're going to add to the trauma to the children. You're going to hit their father in front of their face. You're going to, you know, scale a wall. You're going to, you know, make yourself crash out and look crazy. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, what about the kids in the situation? Like, what are they going to grow up with?
She's going for him. She wants his blood. And you know, to your point, I've seen him. I saw him on an interview on Jason Lee's show. And Jason Lee is his good friend, but can't stand Erica Mena. And he was talking to him, and he was trying to make him like say some bad things about her, and he wouldn't do it. He was like, I still love her. You know, he was really saying some really positive things about her. She kept talking bad about him, talking about how he was a deadbeat. He don't come to his kids, how he out there doing whatever. He's a narcissist, all of these things. I even seen her on Narcissist's page commenting like, yep, that happened to me. That happened to me too. And then, you know, you can only take so much. And he probably tried to ignore it. He might have been bobbing and weaving and playing because he was going over there getting the cooch too in between the times. And she just couldn't handle it. And so
But
that's what ended up happening.
Safaree Jamaican.
Before I heard about them Jamaicans. That's
So
why I'm
he-
staying
so
away.
he
Hold on,
probably
let's go to
didn't,
commercial real quick. Commercial. No commercial.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
All right, inquiring minds want to know, Athena. Is it true what they say about Jamaican men?
Oh my God. Well, Safaree, didn't he come out with a sex toy with like a mold of his
They
thing?
said
I think he
Safaree is
Yeah,
he
he's packing. So, Jamaican men do have a reputation of, third legging. And, Jamaican men are very good dancers. And there's a reason why Stella got her groove back in Jamaica. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
I heard they didn't do oral though. Is that true too? The Jamaican
What
man?
happened?
Jamaican men don't do oral.
Okay, so they, on the record, they're not supposedly not, but behind the scenes, of course, that's a lie.
Well, speaking of packing, I think didn't she send a picture to his mom and his sister, a naked picture of him? Do we have that picture? Did he send?
I don't know if we can post that picture.
No, he actually I screenshot it and then I magnified it to see if I could really see something, but it is actually he covered it up, so he blocked it out, so you couldn't see it. But she actually sent a picture of him a new picture of him to his mom and his sister, trying to well, obviously she's not in her right mind. Obviously she's bipolar. She already got fired from the show for her anger issues. But do you think if it was a man that was crashing out like this, would we be having the same conversation, or would we take it as lightly as we are now? Because I think we're taking this matter very lightly. Do you think it would be different if it was a man, Dr. Lene?
If it was a man showing up being a plum fool, I think we'd be having the same conversation. I don't know if we would be taking it lightly, because we would be saying, how come he can't control himself? How come he's, this is a woman. You shouldn't act like that with a woman. So we would definitely be taking it differently, because we think that a man should have more self-control and he shouldn't, put his hands on a woman and things of that nature. But, let me say this is another one of those things gonna splash back at me. I do agree that a man shouldn't put his hands on a woman. However, I also grew up with, if you hit me, I'm hit you back.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, if you think if he would have hit her back, would he have been justified?
Because she put her hands on him first. How much slapping and hitting and acting a plum fool can you do for somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he walked away.
He walked away. He kept walking away. He tried to, deflect things of that nature. His kids are there, so he's trying to be, my assumption, trying to be respectful, not to put his hands on look at this shot. Look at the kids. The kids is looking, trying to figure out what's going on. They're watching this. They're not sitting in another room. In the video, you can see them walking around behind the two of them. You know what I'm saying? This is traumatizing. Mm-hmm. And had it been in reverse, we would definitely be talking about the man. She would be the victim. And in this case, he is the victim. So to your point, it's kind of like we're not making light of it, because it is still a serious situation, but men don't get the proper protection that they need in toxic relationships that women do.
Let's talk about the statistics of that, though, about men that experience intimate partner violence. It's a global problem. In the United States, approximately 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men have experienced physical violence in an intimate relationship. 21.4% women and 14.9% men. In the context of sexual violence, the same study found that women reportedly being victimized more than twice as often as men, 18.3% women and 8.2% men. It is a real thing. And I think that we do, as a society, kind of take it lightly, right?
I disagree with those stats. I think men's stats are higher. They don't report them.
Okay.
I completely disagree with those stats. Women run and tail quicker and faster than men do. But I think there's a lot of women putting their hands on. I think there's more. I think the statistics for men having violence is higher than what those statistics say.
What about sexual violence? Are women raping men at a higher level?
I doubt that. I doubt it. I can't say for sure. I'm not out here doing it. So
I'm trying to figure out how you could successfully rape a woman.
Dr. Joe, it's been done.
This Joe expertise now.
Oh, this is my expertise. First of all. Second of all, why are you trying to figure that out, Constance?
I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can. I mean, unless you're like tying them down and sodomizing them or something. I don't know how you can, a woman. I just don't. And this is my ignorance. I don't know how that works.
Me neither. I ain't getting into it with you. I don't know how it works. You don't know how it works. We don't know how it works.
I don't.
We're gonna figure it out together.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying, you got to excuse my ignorance because I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll be honest.
But okay, so going back to that though, do you think it would have been a different story if it was a man that was doing all of this? If it was the other way around, if Safaree was doing all of this stuff, and then Erica was, doing interviews and saying, I really love him, and then he was on social media crashing out and talking about her, and then we ended up seeing this. Do you think we would have been having a different conversation?
100%. I do disagree with Dr. Lene when she's on that point. We would definitely be having a different conversation. It would not be the same. And her life or his life, if the situation reversed, would, as a celebrity or profitability, would be over. There is no coming back from this type of footage and videos, especially. I mean, we would be judging the type of father. I mean, I'm sure we're judging the type of mother she is, but I mean, he would be considered a coward, all different things, and his life would be virtually over if the situation was reversed. And I think we all know that.
I definitely can agree with you.
If you think about how we're talking about the spicy Latina, he made that choice.
Yeah.
If it was in reverse, it's an aggressive, strong black man putting his hands on that woman. Like the whole conversation changes.
That's what I'm saying. The conversation would not be the same at all, and we might not even be talking about it. And honestly, if it was if the situation was reversed, I probably would not have had to go find this. I probably would have seen it before someone brought it to me. If this was, I wouldn't have to. I didn't hear anything about this, to be honest. It did not come up on my algorithm.
What about you, Athena?
I agree. I think if it was a man, like he would have been canceled. He would have been canceled. And as a woman who grew up in a male-dominated household with my dad, and I have 4 brothers, I have no sisters. I have always learned to never do anything to incite anger in a man, because when that testosterone get pumping and that animal instinct kick in, he could really hit you back. Even if he doesn't want to, he could just like snap and hit you back. So for Erica to be doing that also shows me that that's a behavioral pattern she has. She has not had the fear of like getting hit back. If you were afraid that this man would actually hit you back, you would not do it. Yeah. You would not do it.
Yeah, that's true. And, it begs a question, because is this really, you got to ask a question, because for her, this came out because he asked her to reduce his child support. He's saying, I don't make as much as she does. And she says, look, you only see these kids 16 times this year. And, now they're going back and forth. Is this about, for him, is it about child support, or is it about getting back at her? And then for her, do you think it's really about child support, or is it her being pissed off at him for how he's treated her and how he's left her? What do you think? Is this really about the child support for her? Let me just ask you, for her, Dr. Lene.
For her, no. I think that, and I might have said it on here before, parenting, and I'm pretty sure I have said it. Me and my son's father, we have great parenting. He's one of my best friends. My son is 24. We had some bumps. I've talked about those before, but for the most part, we've had a great friendship and relationship. But that's because we both amicably went separate ways. Nobody's feelings were hurt. Nobody thought they missed out on anything. We knew that being apart was going to be better, and we could focus on my son. In this situation, when you don't have that and one party is hurt, it messes up the dynamics of co-parenting and raising the kid, because now that hurt parent is only worried about hurting the other parent. They're not thinking about the kid. They're thinking about, how can I hurt you? And so that's what's happening. I think Dr. Joe said that she wants to control, right? So she's looking to control him through child support. If I can't have you, then I'm going to take your money. You're going to be responsible. I'm going to make you pay, or you're going to get back with me. If you get back with me, you don't have to pay child support. It's a control tactic. A lot of women use it. It's not just these people. That's the thing that I'm talking about. Like, we're talking about them, but this is a relationship problem. This is a toxicity problem. This is a man and woman having children's issue, not an Erica, Mena, and Safaree issue. This is a two people who have children should be focusing on their children. Me and you, we can't kick it. I don't like you. You don't like me. We don't got to talk. But let's focus on what's best for these kids. I'm not even going to go into who makes more money and why it's important. I will just say that for me and mine, the relationship between my son's father and my son was more important to me than the money.
That part. So what do you think, Dr. Joe? Do you think this is about for her? And I know you don't really know these people like that, but just from what you see, is this about the child support, or is this about her being hurt?
Honestly, don't think it's about that for either one of them. When I look at this from both of their perspectives, I'm not really sure I can even try to decipher what it is about for her. But for him, like we talking about, like Dr. Lene said, what's best for the kids, right? If either one of them were doing what's best for the kids, none of us would know about this. Right? True. This is not something, but fortunately or unfortunately for him, his living is made in the public. So if his reputation is of a certain way, then that decreases his profitability, right? So he has to make some of this stuff public, or he's making it public to help his status or his visibility. We don't know, but that's just part of how he makes his living. That's what he chose to do. So for either one of them, neither one of them in this situation are doing what's best for the kids. And that is a fact. I don't give a damn what it is he does for a living. I don't give a damn what it is she does for a living. If we're making the main thing, which is these are their actual biological children, right? Then neither one of them would be able to sit in my office and deny the fact that they are both doing what's bad for the children. And I would not let any one of them come off of that accountability, period. It's wrong.
Yeah, but Big Mac said they're both unqualified for the children. They're both unqualified parents. What do you think? I know how Miss Mena is. You think it's about control for her, or do you think that she really just needs his child support? Like, why do you think she's doing this?
You talking to Athena?
Yeah, Athena.
Oh, okay. I think that she's doing this for control, because when they first got together, this is what happens when you actually watch the show. During the course of the divorce, she actually revealed that she has always been making more money than him. She has always made more money than him. So even going into the marriage, even though it looked like he chose her and he's, providing, and I'm sure he does make money, but she was the breadwinner in their relationship. So even during the course of the divorce, there was a complaint around the fact that, because he did not make as much money as her, he was always contesting the child support and things like that. So that has been throughout the whole situation. So I think even now, if he has lost income, and I think this is a problem with child support, you always have to go back to court to get that income piece adjusted. And I do feel like if you are a man that has experienced a significant loss in income, that you should petition the court to adjust to what you have right now. I think with Erica's a Scorpio, and we can go into astrology later, but it will always be an issue between them. Like, she will not have peace with a man who rejected her, who didn't want her, who left her, and go through all of that. Like, I don't think there will ever be a situation where she's fine, because if she just really wanted to be divorced, she could have just divorced him. Whatever child support is, what the child support is. You pick up your kids when you can and just keep it pushing.
Yeah, I don't think she'll ever be fine. I've never seen her just fine. Just the few times that I've seen her, she's never been fine. But I got a question about child support. As soon as we come back from this break, I want to ask you guys, do you think that, if a person makes more, so say she makes more, does that less obligate him from paying whatever he should be paying in child support, because she can fully take care of the child on her own? So I want to ask you guys that after we come back.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes, yes, yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and reviews so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
Y'all, look, I like what Byron Brooks Stone Cold said. He said, put Erica on a reality show with Nene Leakes, Chrissy, Tammy Rowland with her spicy attitude. Erica, she will have a rude awakening. She will sit her ass all the way down. You put her on a reality show with them. That's funny. I agree. But to that point about child support, the question that I asked before, Dr. Lynette, do you think that if the woman makes more, should the man, or, if it was reversed, do you think that should absolve them from having to pay, their portion of the child support if they make less? You're muted, babe.
Sorry about that. Trying to do right by the producer. Put yourself on mute when you're not speaking. I think that, okay, this is a touchy conversation to have when we start talking about money and taking care of children. And I'm really not a great person to ask because I didn't take my son's father to court for child support. And when he had him, I was giving him money. So people always be like, your situation is different, but this is what I think. I think that you can support your child either and or both ways. If you have the means to support your child financially, then you do it based on whatever you can, not based on whatever you can do. If you go to court, whatever the court says, but I believe that should be a priority. You take care of your child. For the people who financially cannot do it, I think that you show up and you over deliver. How can I support you? What can I do? If the woman is the person who makes the most money and the man makes less money, they still need to pay child support based on what they make. The issue I have is in this particular situation, she makes more money and she wants him to pay at a higher level when she makes the most money. That's not right, because to what we talked about earlier, if it was in reverse, it wouldn't be the same. So if we're just going off of apples to apples and dollars to dollars, it should be the same, whether you are a woman or a man and the other person makes less money. When a man makes more money than the woman, we see certain dynamics. When the woman makes more money than the man, all of a sudden it changes. It should be different. He should still pay the same amount, but he makes less. Right. We got to have the same energy both ways.
Right. And then according to what we're seeing on the internet, he's making even less because she's disparaging him all over online. So now he's losing jobs. He's losing money. Athena, what are your thoughts? I know you don't have no kids, but do you think that, just from the outside looking in, that, if a man makes less or if a woman makes less, they shouldn't have to take care or pay child support?
Thank God I don't have no kids by no dusty man and nobody's stressing me out, honey. Thank God. Anyways, I do think that you need to honor your commitments. And I think that regardless of, I feel like people need to pay. Like, I feel like especially if you're a situation, if you are a man, you need to do something. Now, what I said earlier was if he's experienced a loss in income, I do feel like his child support needs to be adjusted to that according to the state. And a lot of people don't know, like, states have calculators on what your expected child support payment would be by your salary. I know Florida does. You can just plug in what you make and what that child support theoretically would be. And there is a judicial way that courts do assign child support. And while we're on the topic of child support, remember the average child support payment is $400 something a month. So a lot of people walk around here. The average child support payment is $400 something a month, like $430
per child.
I think per child. I think that's per child. So a lot of people are walking around upset, and that's not a huge number. Like, that is not, most people aren't even paying that. And the people, I know who pays child support. That falls in line with that range. So I think the child support issue is usually around trying to get back or trying to attack one of the partners in certain ways. And I don't feel like if the goal is to raise the children in a healthy environment, what's best for them, then deal with the child support, whatever it is. If this is what you're truly making, fine. And then let's continue to move on. Even a few weeks ago, we saw Tyrese contesting paying $10,000 a month in child support, and that was around 2%, less than 2% of his overall income for the year. So it's always, I feel like we need to unpack that. It's not really the child support. I feel like in these situations, it's usually because whoever is the hurt individual is trying to either not fulfill their commitment in an attempt to attack the other person, or is trying to attack the other person in financial ways. And I feel like that financial manipulation, ultimately, the children are the ones who suffer.
Absolutely. I can agree, personally, because I don't get child support for none of my kids. And his thing is, she make all the money. And so it's like, but that doesn't absolve you from having to take care of your kids. So, it's just, it's funny to me that people think just because you make a little bit of money that you're still not supposed to support your children. It's kind of weird. But what do you think, Dr. Joe?
Can I ask you a question? Like, what do you feel like you would need child support, or what do you feel like would be
absolutely who gonna turn down money? Yeah,
it's not about turning down money, but like, what if he was like just actively financially supportive? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't come in the form of like child support, but he's doing his share. So I'm asking you, would that be sufficient, or do you feel like
absolutely.
You need? Okay. Mm-hmm. So what my thought I'm just asking just to ask, because my thought process is, I want to know what is the health of the relationship, and what is the purpose of the child support? Is it revenge money? Is it an attempt to hurt, or is it one of the partners is just a pure deadbeat and refusing to be financially responsible for their child? I feel like I'm a person who does not believe in systems, who don't trust systems. So I believe once you get them government people in your business, you did something wrong. If you can try to have some kind of amicable situation before that happens, then I believe that's always the way you should go. This situation, and these celebrity situations, they're always like tricky. I just, when you talk about who makes more, what's the responsibility? That's all I want to know. Like, if you can't give what you don't got, so one person making less money than the other person, I mean, what are we really doing? I guess is what I'm trying to say. What are we really doing? What is it really for? Is it really about the child, or is it really about the hurt?
Let me ask you this, Dr. Lene. To Athena's point, when she talked about Tyrese, and Tyrese, him paying $10,000 a month was less than 2% of his income. His protest was that she don't need $10,000 a month to live. Do you think that? And he's basically, his protest was that this was not for the child, this was for the mother, and he didn't feel like the mother should be getting all that money. Do you think it should be a percentage? Do you think, say this person makes millions of dollars, and it really only takes $3,000 or $4,000 to support this child? Do you think he should only be given $3,000 or $4,000, or do you think it should be based upon what a percentage of what he makes?
According to the courts, they always go with that. What's best in the best interest of the child, and according to the best interest of the child.
I said Dr. Lene.
I
said what? Dr. Lene, according to Dr. Lene.
Yeah, best interest of the child. So the percentage is based off of what the father or the parent, let's not say the father, the parent makes. So that if somebody who's making 100,000 and they pay their 5%, and somebody's making $1 million, they got to pay their 5%. It's tricky, because this is the reason why some women go after men that make a certain amount of money so that they can have a baby, so that they can get that 5%. Mm-hmm. You got to pay based on what you make. It's not my system. Do I think it's right that women are having babies so that they don't have to work, or they're going after men who are famous or have money so that they don't have to work? As a hardworking entrepreneur going out here getting it every day, no, I don't think that that's right, and I don't think that that's fair, that you make your children your paycheck. I do not. However, should you find yourself in that position and you make that amount of money, I do agree with the courts that the child should have the same quality of life that the parent has. I just don't think, I think that women have made it a really negative, nasty, trickery type of a thing. If it was really about the kids, I could support it. But the way that some women are going about doing this, tricking a man, using turkey basters, like they've turned it into a sport, and that's the piece I don't condone or sign up for that. When you purposely put a man into a situation to then take advantage of him and exploit him.
Right. But what if a man is just careless? He's out there just spreading the seed. Well, what's that? That was it. He's a football player or a basketball player. He just had his fourth kid by all of his side pieces, and he has a girlfriend at home he had just had a baby by, but he had 4 kids in the last year.
Is that NLE young boy NBA?
No, he's like a football player or something.
Yeah,
like
Cam,
that.
You're talking about Cam Newton.
No, it's another one. He just had another baby by another baby mama in the last year. And he has a girlfriend, but he has 4 that he just had, or 3 he just had. Who was that?
I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So like somebody like that, like, do you have sympathy for somebody like that, Dr. Lene, that he's just out there spreading his seed? He just need to pay. He gonna have to pay.
You know what you're doing.
Each child.
Yes. If you as the man know what you're doing, you're using your influence to be with these different women, and you're not being protected. You're not doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, to protect yourself. I do not feel sorry for that, because you already know how this is going to play out. Like, you know how this, you done did it 3, 4, 5 times. You haven't learned. Here we are again. But for, again, that's intentional.
Yeah, that's true. I want to ask you the same question, Athena, but as soon as we come back. Commercial.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
Y'all text word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Same question to you, Athena.
Listen, I need men to advocate for themselves even more. If you want women to stop playing these games, because I do believe there are dusty women who are looking for men as come up, who just want to pop a baby out and get a guaranteed check for 18 years. And I actually discussed how that is actual bad strategy for women, and more women are finding out that, that's not a situation to sign up for. If you as a man want to take control of the situation, if you are a celebrity or influencer and you have enough coins, get a nanny, ask for joint custody. Once you have joint custody, whatever child support is usually greater reduced, and you have access and time with your child and have more rights. Like, a lot of men are asking for less child support, when especially if you're a celebrity like Tyrese, if he didn't want to pay the 10 grand, all right, could you afford a nanny to be there full time? So while you're working, or they can come on set with you, or whatever the case may be, and that would have been cheaper than the amount that the court would have forced you to pay for her to fight for primary custody. Like, why is the argument always about child support, which I do think is weaponized, right? But why is that always the argument? And why aren't more men just stepping up for joint custody or even full custody? Because look at Ludacris, when he had his little side baby on his fiance at the time, now wife, he petitioned the court to have his child full time, so he doesn't have to worry about having to deal with child support and all that stuff. Why is that strategy not being taken? I need men to advocate more for themselves and their rights as fathers. If you see these women are playing games with you, fight for the joint or primary custody, and invest in having that outcome, so you don't have to always have these arguments and be at the mercy of these courts.
Yeah, that's good. So for all of you men out there, quit allowing these women to dictate whether you could see your child or not. Quit allowing them to dictate if you gonna be a part of these children's lives. That's not fair to those children. You have to fight. A lot of these men are reactive and not proactive. They're not taking advantage. They're not taking control of the situation, and they're allowing these women to control them through whatever tactics because they scared or they're lazy as shit. But I'm gonna ask you because this is the most important part of it. I think
Stop it.
this is the most important part, Joe. What kind of long-term effects is this going to have on those babies? Seeing all that toxicity with the parents.
First, stop it. You say stop it. The system is what it is. It's grossly unfair to men, and I think we know that. It's easy to say.
It's grossly unfair to the breadwinner. It's
okay.
Grossly unfair to the person who makes the most money. Trust me, I've been through it.
Okay, you got that perspective, and I'm not going to argue against it.
Absolutely.
But I will say that, it's easy. I've seen men or talked to men, and it's easy to say, yeah, go fight for your rights. It's just a little harder than doing that. But I can't argue with what you said. Sometimes, the breadwinner do get, the brunt of it all. But aren't you arguing the same thing? Like the breadwinner should be getting the brunt of it? I'm not sure if I misunderstood what you were saying. But your question was, tell me your question again.
My question was, at the end of the day, this affects those babies. What's going to be the long-term effect on those children, seeing all this toxicity play out right in front of them? And then it's not, now it's on the interweb and it's going to be there forever. They're going to see it, maybe, when they get old enough to be in school, or maybe somebody's going to talk about it. But how deeply is this going to affect them?
Yeah, it's going to develop some attachment issues for those children, for sure. There's going to be some trust issues, and there's going to be a misunderstanding of what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to be. Probably I can see for the children trying to hang on to situations that are unhealthy for them because of a fear of what it looks like to see a relationship dissolve and the abandonment that comes with that. I mean, these are the type of issues that I deal with on an everyday basis because of a situation like this. Children of divorce, children of, emotionally immature parents, toxic relationships, things like that. All these things come back. And I'm telling, if get it early. If you are a child who grew up in this type of situation, or you have children that are growing up in this type of situation, get them in front of somebody early so they can sort it out and dispel all the cognitive distortions that they're developing right now. All right. They're developing beliefs that are not true about themselves and about what relationships and love look like. And I'm telling you, get them in front of somebody immediately.
Yeah. CY said a lot of children and young people are going to need some counseling, and that is the truth. Dr. Lene, let me ask you this. Somebody's not muted. Have you seen this play out in real life where you actually seen some children that were affected by toxic situations, and what was the outcome of that, if you've seen that?
I always say that children are going to learn from their parents one way or the other. Either going to learn how to act, how to behave. I want to mimic. I want to be like my dad. He was the best man, or they're going to be like, I absolutely don't want to be like my dad or my mom or dad. So we teach our children one way or the other. We're either going to traumatize them, and they're going to definitely be like, this is not what I want. This is not who I want to be. Or they will see those things and still show and still produce some of those activities. They don't mean to, but it's what they learn, and they'll start to see themselves behaving like their parent. So have I seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people who didn't want to become their parents, and they did. I've seen people who were like, I am the way I am today because I knew I didn't want to be like that. So our parents and us as parents, we teach our children one way or the other. We don't know what that. If you're being toxic, you can kind of see what it's going to be, but you don't know how it's going to play out. They will either be, I don't want that, or they could mimic it. We'll never know until they get older.
Yeah, like I said, run to it or run from it. For your final thought, I want to know, Athena, what can we do as parents? And I know you're not a parent yet, but just to kind of insulate, because everybody goes through trauma. I don't care I don't care what you've tried to do as a parent, or I don't care what your parents tried to do to insulate you from trauma, but we've all been through some kind of trauma. Because they've been through trauma, what could they do to kind of reverse that or help their children through it, or help their children change the narrative. And I want to hear from each of you guys in your final thoughts. Like, what can we do after a child has faced trauma to kind of change the narrative and turn it around?
I think at the end of the day, what parents can do is to remind their child that they're loved, right? Because I feel like in the midst of all the trauma, especially when two parents are fighting and disparaging each one another, you love your parents so much that when another parent start attacking them, you make it, you put in these traumatic situations. And regardless of what another person is doing, you need to hold yourself up to a higher standard to protect your kids as much as possible. You need to control what you are capable of doing in the situation. So that means maintaining your composure. That means not arguing, not raising your voice above a certain level, even if this person is acting crazy. What parents in these type of situations need to do is to enact a certain level of emotional mastery so that they can insulate their child as much as possible. And when their children grow up and get older, they will know and see the truth for themselves. My name is Athena Gardner. I'm a CPA and wealth coach. I create products for women that will help them confidently manage their finances and position them for success. I currently have 2 webinars that are available on wewealthwomen.eventbrite.com that will help you maximize your money and make more income, and also help women make strong financial decisions, especially when it comes to money and relationships that we are talking today.
Thank you, Athena. What about you, Joe?
I'll say this. I feel like when you have engaged in a relationship and the baby is a result of that relationship, now there is no time machines. What's done is done. I shouldn't have done this. Shouldn't have done that. You can't shit all over yourself. What you have to do now is recognize that, if you are hopefully a decent human, you and this person that you've made a baby with are on the same team. So y'all have the same objective. So what is that objective? Hopefully it's the prosperity of the child that y'all have created together. So we have to come together and have healthy conversations about what that looks like for both of us without, stepping over our own boundaries and making us feel uncomfortable. So when we talk about what's best for the children, but before we get to that point, find out who you are, what toxic things that you have in your mind, what cognitive distortions and emotional triggers you've developed in your mind over time, and come into situations and spaces healthy so you don't get to this toxic level if you haven't already done so. And if you want to do that, you can go to realuconsulting.com, reach out to me, sit on this couch, or virtually sit on the couch and let's talk about it.
Very good. Okay. What about you, Dr. Lene? What's your thoughts? How can we reverse that if, just the toxicity that children and people have faced?
So I'm going to go with the perspective of therapy. To your point, all of us are traumatized. All of us have some type of PTSD. All of us have experienced something. And a lot of us adults, even today, carry residue with us from our past, things that we've experienced that make us who we are today, our insecurities, our fears, whatever the case might be. And we literally pass those things down to our children. And it's a cycle that just keeps going, right? Therapy is important. God is good. Don't get me wrong. You got to pray, but therapy is important. And we don't do enough of that in our community. And I'll give you a point in fact. When I was younger, my mom knew that I was struggling. She knew I was dealing with some things, and she knew that I needed therapy. So we went to a therapist. It was an older white lady. We don't really know anything about therapy. We go to the lady. She's asking these really random questions. We walk out and we literally together, we laugh. Like, what was that, right? We didn't really understand what therapy was or what it was for. But fast forward this many years later, as adults and as Black people, we have a better grasp of therapy. Not only that, there's more Black therapists. Had I had a Black therapist way back then, my experience with therapy might have been different. So if you see yourself as an individual, yourself as a parent, or your child is struggling, give them the help they need. If you can find a Black therapist, somebody that understands what you're dealing with, what you're going through, or the experiences of Black people, do that. We don't have to struggle anymore. We don't have to pass down trauma. We can break generational curses. We can make sure that your kids don't have to see and feel and experience and go through the same things that you went through. We have the power to stop some of these things that we're passing down to our children. based on our own experiences. So that is what I would say. Don't shy away from something that is different. Get the help that either you need or that your children need, so that it doesn't keep going, so that it doesn't keep spiraling. So that's what I would say. With that same vein, if you need help in your business, seek that help. That's what I do. I'm a business coach, monetization strategist. I'm Dr. Lene Javette. You can find me on there at I am Dr. Lene Javette.
Girl, you are so smart. That's why I love you. That's for real. That's why I love you, because you stepping on all kind of toes over here. I'm like, yeah, she right. I'm feeling that. I'm like about to go make some phone calls as soon as I get up off of here. Real talk. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody needs therapy, because we've all been traumatized in one way or the other. And I say, look, since my kids was little, I've always told them, whatever you don't like that I do, just try to do different when you have children. Mommy tries her best, but wherever I fall short, just do different. And the other day, my kids was ragging on me, and they was, talking about whatever. And then I heard my oldest son say, it's okay, because when I raise my kids, I'm going to do different. And that made me proud, because I want them to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And if there's something that I did, because I am not perfect, I want you to do better than me. I want your kids to have better experiences than you did that I tried to make for you. And so I think that's the thing, is always try to improve. But that therapy, y'all, that's the key, because I think that's going to help really help them get to the core of where they are and how they're feeling. So especially when you deal with, traumatic situations, toxic situations, divorce and things like that, it's important. Therapy is important. So I do want to tell you this, entrepreneurs, if you are looking to get your brand noticed, advertise with us on Fly Nubian Money. We go live 5 days a week, and we have our page distributed to over millions and millions and millions of subscribers. Our audience is engaged, as you know, they are intelligent, and they are ready to connect with you and new businesses like yours. So this is a chance for you to reach who you want to know about your business. Do not miss out. So what I need you to do is email info@realvirtual. Put that on the screen, real, REEL virtual.net, and put Fly Nubian Money ad in the subject line for our ad rates, and let's grow your business together. That's info@realvirtual.net. There we go. If you want to advertise with us, this is the place to be. Okay. So you can really get your brand out there, really get your business out there, and advertise with us. Now bring us all back together, because I want to see my beautiful queens and the king. And I want to just tell you, I appreciate you guys coming on, and I appreciate all the thought-provoking conversations that we continue to have day in and day out. This was really good. Just talking about this is what Fly Nubian Money is about. We're not just talking about one thing. We're talking about a multifaceted of topics, but it's all about what can we do to improve our lives. At the end of it all, how can we change ourselves? How can we change our families? And how can we change our communities? And this is what Fly Nubian Money is all about. And I'm glad to be a part of the conversation. So if you need to grow your money and not blow your money, go to Fly Nubian Money. See that down there? .com. Also, please, or we will get our asses kicked. If you want to get notifications, please text the word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. We are here 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be here tomorrow. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but they'll be here tomorrow. Same time, same bat channel. So make sure, Dr. Lene, you ain't going to be here tomorrow either. But I think Athena and Joe will be here. So make sure you tune in, same time, same bat channel. And we will see you on the other side, baby.